Week 1, Introduction to Missional Life and Work of an Interpreter. As we begin this process, our main goal is to make missional life part of your daily routine. Jonathan Dobson wrote an insightful article on missional living, and I'm indebted to him for many of the subject headings and some of the ideas shared in this course. He made one poignant statement with which I would like to begin the course. Don't make the mistake of making missional another thing to add to your schedule. Instead, make your existing schedule missional. Let me repeat that. Don't make the mistake of making missional another thing to add to your schedule. Instead, make your existing schedule missional. This is the basics for what we will be studying during this course. The life and work of a missional interpreter is not an add-on. It is not something we do when we have time. Dobson went on to say, missional is not an event we tack on to our already busy lives. It is our life. We can be missional in everyday ways without overloading our schedules. Each week we are going to tackle some different aspect of our normal everyday life. We are going to evaluate what we are currently doing and see how we can convert that activity into one which exemplifies missional living. Again, let me reiterate, we are not looking to tack on something to each of the various dimensions of your regular living. We are looking at transforming these parts of your day into a way to reach out to your community, your colleagues, your neighbors, etc., in a missional way. As you do your assignments and write in your journal, make sure you keep the following question in mind. How can we be missional every day without overloading our schedule? I'll be expecting you to keep a journal and write how you will or are implementing the weekly task. You will include this into the discussion forum for the class participation. This week, for instance, you should be writing about your expectations for the course. What do you expect to gain that will help you become a missional interpreter? A scripture search for something related to the weekly topic will be part of your assignment. Also, you will need to find a YouTube related to the weekly topic. After watching it, write a review and evaluation. Pick a book from the bibliography provided. Write a brief 3 to 5 page summary of the book and evaluate an evaluation as it relates to the weekly topic. If you know a book that should be in the bibliography but isn't, choose it and do this assignment using that book. This assignment will be due at the end of the course. Each week you will be able to add questions to the question board. You'll get bonus points for each question submitted. If your question is chosen for the final exam, you'll get double bonus points. Remember, by the end of the course, you'll be expected to have developed a life plan where you demonstrate how you have begun implementing the activities studied during the course, utilizing all of the material studied. During this course, I'll be asking you to evaluate your life. We'll be looking at normal, everyday things that are going on. We'll analyze them to determine what we may need to tweak in order to convert it into a missional activity. Again, not add, but transform something you do routinely into something that is missional. Let me clarify that this will not be easy. We fall into the routines and even ruts. A friend of mine once told me that a rut is a coffin with its ends not added. Unfortunately, our ruts become so entrenched that we cannot think of doing it any other way. An example of this is what happens to what happened to the car industry, and may have been the cause for many of the rollover accidents Ford had with one of their vehicles. The standard axle on an American car dates back to the Roman chariots and wagons. That's right. The modern mode of transportation is based on an axle size designed over 2,000 years ago. When Rome conquered England, it began building roads in order to allow its troops easier access. Over the years, these paved roads began developing ruts. As new generations of wagons began to be developed, the designers used the same axle length as the Romans did in order for the wagons to be able to move easily down the ruts on these roads. The reason was simple. If they had done something larger or smaller, the wagon's axle may have broken when one of the wheels got stuck in one of the ruts. Moving forward 1,000 years, and you will find train axles made this length, and then car axles made the same length. By this time, no one was driving down the old ruts, but the axle makers were stuck in one. Back to the topic. We're no different than the axle makers. We too get stuck in ways of doing things and often don't even know why. It is the way we have always done it, and therefore is the way we will continue doing it. During the next few weeks, we are going to learn some new ways, and hopefully those ways will get us out of the ruts of life and into missional living.